In this session, we're going to jump into career benchmarks, why they're important, and how to set them, but more importantly, how to achieve them. So when we think about career, what I always recommend is don't name your benchmarks just around money. If you want to create a benchmark around I'm making X amount per year or per month, that's totally fine to do. But we've got to tie meaning to the outcome. And so often I find people tend to create a benchmark with career and they'll just focus on the money they want to make. And then they basically wake up and they're miserable working the job that they're in or running their business or their company every single day. And so if we're engaging a career, which we spend something like 60 or 70% of our time doing, 60 or 70% of your life is going to be spent building a business or engaging with your job and career, to basically hate that process or dislike your career, in my opinion, is fundamentally unacceptable, because it's one of the biggest things you're going to do with your life. It's one of the places you're going to spend the most time with your life. A lot of times people spend more time with their career than they are most of the people in their life, right? Or doing the things they love doing, like their hobbies and things like this. And so this should be a fulfilling experience. And if it's not, it's time to tune that up. And so it's totally okay to name an amount of money you want to make. But what I find is when we look at the benchmarks that we set with career and what we want to realize for our new year, what we want to evolve into for this year, is we want to focus on what are the benchmarks that I must achieve, that by way of achieving them, the outcome and the result is what I really want. And so I'm going to say that again. The benchmarks that we want to set or that we want to strive for need to be specific, and basically when we achieve those benchmarks, they should translate to what we really want. And so as an example, if I look at the way I want to feel within my career, we should start with an internal experience, right? We should start with, I want to be fulfilled. And I want to be happy, I want to be joyful, I want to be inspired. Because if you woke up every single day and you were inspired to do your day, you were inspired to throw yourself into your career, you were bringing confidence and passion, enthusiasm, joy into your day, into your career, I guarantee that if nothing else happened, you would see an up-leveling of your performance and your outcomes and results. Most people, they're not bringing that energy to their day. And so when we think about having a successful career, we often will first go to, if we pay attention, the idea that we feel empowered and we feel fulfilled and we feel worthy and we feel unstoppable, and a sense of freedom, and there's a sense of pride in making contribution and knowing that we make a difference and what we do matters. And so it's often a catch-22, because a lot of people, they'll focus on, I need to find the right career or the right thing to do that then's going to translate into feeling those things. But in actuality, it happens in the opposite way. The individuals who have the most fulfilling careers, who are the most confident, who are the most inspired, who wake up and they go, man, I love what I'm doing today and I can't wait to go do it, and I'm looking forward to the next 10 years of this, are individuals that drive with inspiration, and they bring that to their career, and then their environment becomes a byproduct of them. And so that leads them to the thing that's going to be most fulfilling, which is different than trying to pick something that's going to translate to us feeling those ways. Because the reality is, no matter how much you love something, you're going to hate it one day, right? Like no matter how much you love what it is you do, whether it's, working on cars or, rebuilding, or building buildings, or maybe you're an architect or a lawyer, or maybe you love doing something like what I do, right? I wake up every day and I love having the opportunity to give people access to a life better than they could have possibly imagined, and tuning people up, right? Supporting them to thrive. But yet there's days where I don't feel like doing the accountant and the taxes and all the things that go along with running a large business, running a company. And so it's only a matter of time before you're faced with realities of, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with that. And in those moments, if what you're doing is relied upon for how you're feeling, you're going to fail, or you're definitely not going to achieve what's possible for you. You're going to get in your own way. And so the benchmarks tied to your career should begin with internal benchmarks. What's the experience I'm going to bring to my day? who am I going to become? Who am I going to evolve into? Because if you want more money, or you want a greater level of success, or you want to run a successful business, or you'd like those promotions that you feel like are possible for you, it's going to require you to become somebody you're not right now. You're going to have to grow beyond who you are being in order to achieve those things. Because the person who achieves those things is not who you are being today, if we're really honest with ourselves. And so ask yourself, who is the person that achieves at that level? Who is the person that accomplishes the benchmarks that I want to achieve in my career, whether it's a certain role or a certain position or an outcome of finance that you want to achieve, a certain amount of money you want to make? Who does that? Hey, that person's inspired. That person's confident. That person drives with a sense of fulfillment and confidence. And so start with your benchmarks around who you're going to be each day. And then let's look at how do we train that. And it begins by way of just simply naming, hey, I'm going to be inspired most of today. I'm going to hit inspiration 70% of today. And I'm going to have all these opportunities to decide to be uninspired because of the task I'm doing, or something somebody says to me, or, it just doesn't go my way, or, oh, I got fired today. Like, there's lots of opportunities to essentially choose to be cynical and angry and resentful and, depressed and sad. And there's a lot of reasons for those things. And we could also be giving ourselves a lot of reasons to feel inspired, right? I've got all the opportunity in the world before me. I've got a company that I can really show what I'm made of, show what I'm worth. There's a land of possibility in front of me. It's my job to, optimize or capitalize on the opportunities that are in front of me. I can create the opportunity that I need. Like, what is the energy that you're going to bring to your day? Start your benchmark there. Then after you name the energy that you're going to do your best to bring into your day, the attitude you're going to have no matter what's going on around you, then look at what are the things I must fulfill that will then translate to the promotion. And so maybe you need to take on certain projects that are above just what's being asked of you. And maybe you can see those opportunities. And in your mind, you always go to, oh, I want to get paid more in order to do more. Well, that's usually not how, really high-achieving, successful people operate. Really high-achieving, successful people that are the future leaders, that are the future executives, that own successful companies, that thrive, they look around and they go, oh, here's a need, I can fulfill that, right? They take it upon themselves to simply do it, and then they're recognized later for it, right? They simply see what they can do and they execute without having to be asked oftentimes, and they're later recognized for it. And so what are those benchmarks that, if you nail them, will most likely translate to the outcome that you truly want to achieve? And so put your focus on the outcome or the benchmark to fulfill that will then translate to the promotion, that will then translate to the more money, that will then translate to the new role that you want to be inside of. And so think about what those things are, and then let's put our focus there. And then same formula in creating anything as it pertains to vision. And again, I'm not going to go deep into vision because I've done sessions on vision I recorded those for you in other sessions. So go do a deep dive there. But we want to bring 3 components together to achieve benchmarks so that they're not just a good intention or a New Year's resolution that essentially never happens. Number 1, name the specific benchmark that you want to achieve, internal and external. That will then translate to the result you really want. Step 2, imagine yourself living the result you really want to live. Meaning, make sure that you visualize yourself in the new role, creating the impact on people that you want to have, making a difference in people's lives, serving your customer, up-leveling the quality of their life. Like, what is like making that new amount of money that then translates to you affording your kids new opportunities, or to be able to take the trips you'd like to take with your significant other and the explorations you'd like to have, because you now have this new abundance or this new amount of resource to do these things. And make sure you put a life picture to it. What does it mean from a lifestyle perspective to have fulfilled this benchmark? Don't just focus on the mark itself. Make sure you activate emotion with that mark, inspiration with that mark, by way of focusing on, from a lifestyle perspective, what's it really going to mean to achieve this? How will my life change? And make sure you're connected to that visualization, that picture, that movie, that vision in the mind, so that it means something to you personally and to your nervous system. And then finally, hey, what does the action plan look like? What are the tactics that are likely to take me toward that benchmark and achieve it? What am I going to do daily and or weekly, again and again and again, that becomes a new routine, becomes a new way of being, becomes a lifestyle that guarantees I achieve that benchmark and essentially fulfill what I'm really after. And so bring those three components together. Number one, specific benchmark. Number two, what is the vision of what that will achieve? What will that mean if I achieve and fulfill that? And then number three, what is the daily, weekly action that I need to take that's going to guarantee that that outcome is the result that I answer to? And if you get good at bringing these elements together, you can truly create a life better than you've imagined and go far beyond what you believe you're capable of. But it all begins with learning to bring those three components together and drive from that space, because then you'll become a master of motivation, meaning the individual who can motivate themselves to take any action over time is the person that can achieve just about anything. An individual that cannot motivate themselves to take the action that's required to achieve what they want tends to miss out on the things that are possible for them. So I hope this is helpful for you. Enjoy creating the vision of your career, and let's see how we can up-level that from here.